I am going to say something to you right now that is going to make you angry. It is going to make you uncomfortable. And for a lot of you, it is going to make you click away because you simply cannot handle the truth. Stop being poor. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean it as a command. Being poor in this country, in this economy, is a choice. It is a series of bad decisions, lazy habits, and a refusal to look at the math that governs your life. You think you are poor because of the government? Wrong. You think you are poor because of your boss? Wrong. You are poor because you are acting poor. And I am telling you this today, right now, because the window of opportunity to fix this is closing fast. There is a date coming, a deadline that nobody is talking about, but the smart money sees it coming a mile away. 2026. That is the year the game changes forever. That is the year the soft landing fairy tale ends and the brutal reality of the new economy smashes into the faces of everyone who hasn't prepared. If you are still acting poor in 2026, you stay poor forever. There is no coming back after this reset. You need to understand what I mean when I say stop being poor. I am not talking about the money in your bank account right this second. I am talking about the poverty virus that has infected your brain. I see it every single day. I see people buying $7 coffees when they have $40,000 in credit card debt. That is poor behavior. I see people leasing luxury cars to impress strangers at a stoplight while they have zero assets compounding in the market. That is poor behavior. I see people wasting their most valuable asset, time, scrolling through social media, watching other people get rich, instead of building a side hustle or learning a skill that the market actually values. That is the definition of poverty. You are trading your future freedom for temporary comfort, and it is a bad trade. It is a trade that a bozo makes. And if you keep making that trade, 2026 is going to wipe you out. Why 2026? What is so special about that year? Let me break down the macroeconomics for you because unlike the politicians who want your vote, I only care about your money. 2026 is the convergence of three massive tidal waves that are going to drown the unprepared. First, you have the corporate debt wall. Trillions of dollars of corporate debt borrowed when interest rates were basically zero is going to mature. These companies have to refinance that debt, but they aren't refinancing at 0% or 1% anymore. They are refinancing at 5%, 6%, 7%. Do you know what happens to a mediocre business when its debt payments triple overnight? It goes bankrupt. It lays people off. It cuts costs. And if you are an employee at one of these zombie companies, your job is on the chopping block. The era of easy employment is ending in 2026. Second, you have the full integration of artificial intelligence. Right now, AI is a toy for most people. They use it to write funny poems. But by 2026, corporate America will have fully deployed AI to replace the mediocre middle. I am talking about the data entry clerks, the mid-level managers, the copywriters, the customer service reps. If your job involves sitting at a computer and doing repetitive tasks, you are obsolete. You just don't know it yet. The smart companies are already planning your exit. They are building the software stacks right now to replace you. And when that switch flips in 2026, millions of safe white-collar jobs are going to evaporate. If you are acting poor and relying on a single paycheck from a job that a robot can do better, you are walking into a slaughterhouse. Third, and this is the silent killer, we have the structural solidification of inflation. The government lied to you. They said inflation was transitory, garbage. The prices you see in the grocery store, the rent you pay, the insurance premiums that are doubling, those aren't going back down. That is the new baseline. And by 2026, the cumulative effect of this inflation is going to break the back of the consumer. The credit cards will be maxed out. The savings will be gone. The purchasing power of your dollar will be a fraction of what it was in 2020. If you do not own assets that inflate with the currency, you are getting poorer every single second you breathe. You are running on a treadmill that is speeding up, and eventually you are going to fall off. So, how do you stop being poor before 2026? You have to undergo a complete identity shift. You have to move from being a consumer to being an owner. Poor people consume. They take their money and they give it to Amazon, they give it to Apple, they give it to the car dealership, they give it to the landlord. They are the fuel for someone else's wealth. Rich people own. We own the Amazon stock. We own the building the landlord rents out. We own the debt that the car dealership issues. We sit on the other side of the table. You need to get to the other side of the table, and you need to do it now. The first step is ruthless, and I mean ruthless, elimination of liabilities. I want you to go home tonight, open your closet, open your garage, look at your bank statement, and ask yourself a simple question. Does this put money in my pocket, or does it take money out? If it takes money out, it is a liability. That new car you just bought, liability. Sell it. Get a used car that works. But Kevin, I want to look successful. I don't care what you look like. I care what you are worth. You look successful to your broke neighbors, but to me, you look like a financial disaster. You are paying interest to look rich. That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Get rid of the car. Get rid of the subscriptions you don't use. Get rid of the clothes you don't need. Stop eating out 3 times a week. You are eating your retirement. You are eating your freedom. Once you stop the bleeding, you have to start building the fortress. You need to acquire assets that will survive the 2026 reset. And I am not talking about gambling on meme coins or buying NFTs of monkeys. That is gambling, not investing. I am talking about boring, cash-flowing, unkillable assets. The first category is essential real estate in tax-friendly jurisdictions. Notice I was very specific there. I am not telling you to buy a condo in New York City or a mansion in California. Those markets are dead money. The taxes are too high, the regulations are too tight, and the people are leaving. I am talking about Florida, Texas, Tennessee, the Carolinas, places where the laws favor business, where there is no state income tax, and where the population is growing. You want to own the roof over the head of the person who moved from California to Texas to get a job. That is a trend that is not stopping. In 2026, when the economy gets tough, people will still need a place to live, and they will move to where the jobs are. If you own rental property in those growth corridors, you have a hedge against inflation and a hedge against the recession. The second asset class is dividend aristocrats and energy infrastructure. I talk about this all the time because it works. In 2026, when the stock market is volatile and growth stocks are crashing because interest rates are high, you want companies that pay you to own them. I want companies that make things people have to buy, not things they want to buy. I want energy. I want pipelines. I want consumer staples. I want healthcare. These companies have pricing power. If inflation goes up, they raise their prices and they raise my dividend. It is a beautiful machine. If you are sitting in cash, you are losing 4%, 5%, maybe 7% a year in purchasing power. If you are in dividend stocks, you are getting paid 4%, 5%, 6% just to wait, plus the appreciation. It is the difference between dying slowly and growing stronger. Stop trying to find the next Amazon and start buying the companies that already own the world. The third step in stopping being poor is to invest in yourself. And I don't mean self-care or spa days. I mean skill acquisition. Remember what I said about AI taking jobs in 2026? The only way to survive that is to be the person who controls the AI or the person who does the things AI cannot do. You need to become a specialist. You need to understand sales. You need to understand negotiation. You need to understand how to read a balance sheet. These are skills that are timeless. If you are a generic employee doing generic work, you are a commodity. And in a recession, commodities get crushed. You need to become a brand. You need to be indispensable. Spend your evenings learning, not watching Netflix. Read books on finance. Take courses on digital marketing. Learn how to code. Learn how to plumb a house. I don't care what it is, as long as it is a hard skill that the market will pay for. Let's talk about debt, because this is the chain that keeps you poor. There is good debt and there is bad debt. Rich people use good debt. We borrow money at 5% to buy an asset that pays us 10%. That is leverage. That is how you get wealthy. Poor people use bad debt. They borrow money at 20% on a credit card to buy a pair of shoes that are worth zero the moment they walk out of the store. That is financial suicide. If you have credit card debt, you are a slave. You are working for the bank. Every morning when you wake up and go to that job you hate, the first few hours of your labor are going straight to the bank's profit margin. You have to break those chains. I don't care if you have to work 3 jobs. I don't care if you have to sell everything you own. Pay off the bad debt. You cannot invest. You cannot build wealth. You cannot be free as long as you are paying 20% interest to someone else. It is mathematically impossible to win that game. The house always wins. Stop playing in the casino and start owning the casino. I want to address the young people for a second because I hear the whining. Kevin, it's too hard. Houses are too expensive. The boomers took everything. Listen to me. The world doesn't owe you anything. The world doesn't care about your complaints. Yes, houses are expensive. Yes, inflation is high. So what? Are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to get rich? Because crying doesn't pay well. The opportunities today are different than they were 30 years ago, but they are still there. You have the internet. You can start a business with zero capital. You can reach 1 billion people with a smartphone. My generation didn't have that. We had to buy ad space in newspapers. We had to knock on doors. You have the greatest leverage tool in human history in your pocket, and you are using it to watch cat videos. Stop it. Use the tools you have. Build a side hustle. Start an e-commerce store. Create content. Monetize your hobbies. Stop acting like a victim and start acting like an entrepreneur. Here is the brutal reality of 2026. The middle class is disappearing. We are moving toward a bifurcated economy. There will be the people who own assets, and there will be the people who serve the people who own assets. The gap is widening, and it is going to get wider. The bridge between the two sides is burning. You are on one side right now. Most of you are on the poor side. You have a few years left to run across that bridge before it collapses. If you don't run now, if you don't sacrifice now, you are going to be stuck on the wrong side of history. And let me tell you, it is not fun on that side. It is stressful. It is unhealthy. It is scary. You will work until the day you die, and you will still rely on the government to feed you. Is that what you want? Is that the legacy you want to leave for your children? Sorry, kids, Dad bought a cool car in 2024, so now we are broke. That is pathetic. You need to develop a hatred for poverty. You need to be allergic to it. When you see a charge on your credit card for something stupid, you should feel physical pain. When you see your bank account balance not growing, you should get angry. Use that anger. Channel it into productivity. Wake up earlier, work harder, work smarter. The problem with most people is they are too comfortable. They are comfortable being mediocre. They have a warm bed. They have food. They have a TV. So they think they are fine. You are not fine. You are one recession away from disaster. You are one medical emergency away from bankruptcy. That is not comfort. That is complacency. And complacency kills. In 2026, the people who listen to me, the people who stopped being poor today, are going to be the ones buying the dip. When the market crashes, and it will crash, cash is king. If you have cash and you have no debt, a crash is the greatest opportunity of your life. It is a fire sale on wealth. You can buy stocks for pennies on the dollar. You can buy real estate from the desperate sellers who didn't listen. You can buy businesses that are failing because their owners were lazy. That is how the rich get richer. We don't fear the crash. We prepare for it. We wait for it. We salivate for it. But you can't participate in the fire sale if your house is on fire. You need to fireproof your life right now. I want you to take a hard look at your circle. Who are your friends? Are they ambitious? Are they talking about investing? Are they building businesses? Or are they complaining? Are they talking about sports and celebrities and politics? You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your friends are broke, you are going to be broke. It is osmosis. You pick up their bad habits. You pick up their loser mindset. You need to upgrade your circle. Find people who are doing better than you. Find people who scare you a little bit because they are so intense about their success. Get in the room with them. Listen to them. Learn from them. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Leave. This isn't about greed. People say, Kevin, you're just greedy. No, I am not greedy. I am responsible. I am responsible for my family. I am responsible for my employees. I am responsible for my future. Being poor is irresponsible. When you are poor, you are a burden. You are a burden on your family. You are a burden on the state. You are a burden on society. Building wealth is the most noble thing you can do because it gives you the power to help others. It gives you the power to create jobs. It gives you the power to solve problems. Money is a tool. It is the fuel that drives the engine of civilization. If you don't have any fuel, you are just a passenger. And passengers don't get to decide where the bus goes. Drivers do. I want you to be a driver. So here's your homework. Here's your battle plan for the next 2 years leading up to 2026. Step 1, audit your life. Track every penny you spend for the next 30 days. You will be shocked at how much money you are setting on fire. Cut the waste. Be ruthless. Step 2, pay off high interest debt. Attack it like your life depends on it because it does. Sell things if you have to. Get a second job if you have to. Get to zero. Step 3, build a liquidity cushion. I want 6 months of cash in a high yield savings account or short-term T-bills. This is your sleep at night money. This protects you from having to sell assets when the market crashes. Step 4, start investing. Buy the dividend aristocrats, buy the energy infrastructure, buy the tax efficient real estate, automate it, make it boring, make it consistent. Step 5, increase your income. Ask for a raise, but only if you can prove you deserve it. Start a side business, learn a new skill. You cannot save your way to millions. You have to earn your way there too. I am telling you this because I want you to win. I want you to be part of the solution, not the problem. But I cannot do it for you. I can give you the map, but you have to drive the car. And right now, a lot of you are driving with your eyes closed, heading straight for a cliff called 2026. Open your eyes. Look at the data. Look at the debt. Look at the inflation. It is not going to get easier. It is going to get harder. The bar for survival is being raised. You need to jump higher. You need to run faster. You need to be better. Stop making excuses. Oh, the economy is rigged. Maybe it is. So what? Are you going to let that stop you? The economy has always been rigged. There have always been winners and losers. The winners figure out the rules and play the game. The losers sit on the sidelines and complain about the referee. Get in the game, learn the rules, master the rules, exploit the rules. That is capitalism. It is a beautiful, brutal system that rewards merit and punishes laziness. Be meritorious, be disciplined, be relentless. If you don't take action today, mark my words, you will remember this video in 2026. You will be sitting at your kitchen table looking at a stack of bills you can't pay, looking at a job notice that says you are fired, and you will remember that Kevin O'Leary told you to stop being poor. You will remember that you had a chance to change course and you didn't take it. Don't let that be your future. Change it now. Rewrite the script. Become the hero of your own financial story, not the victim. I need you to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to keep pounding this message into your head until it sticks. I'm going to keep showing you the opportunities. I'm going to keep warning you about the dangers. I am going to be your financial drill sergeant because apparently nobody else in your life has the guts to tell you the truth. They want to be nice. I don't want to be nice. I want you to be rich. There is a big difference. Nice people make you feel good while you go broke. I make you feel bad so you can get rich. You choose which one you want. Smash the like button if you're ready to stop being poor. Leave a comment below and tell me, I am stopping, so I know you are serious. Tell the algorithm that you are done with the cat videos and you are ready for the war room because we are at war. We are at war with inflation. We are at war with mediocrity. We are at war with poverty, and I intend to win. Do you? The clock is ticking. 2026 is coming. Get to work.